Today I'm going to show you what's in my case and the 7 items you must have if you're serious about your improvement and serious about your game. Stay tuned for the end because item number 7 is absolutely going to surprise you. Now, let me start off by saying that some of these items are things that I think are absolute must-haves, and some of these items are honestly just brands and things that I prefer. Now, keep in mind this video is not sponsored. This is 100% genuine. All these items are things that I regularly play with and I genuinely enjoy. Must-have item number 1 is a great case that will protect your cues and is easy to carry around. For my situation, I use a JB case, and I really believe that this is the best on the market. If you have any cues worth more than $500, JB cases are really the only way to protect your investment. You can literally flip the case upside down and those sticks are not gonna fall out, which is absolutely incredible, and I've never seen any other brand of cases be able to do that. Now, the case I have is a 2x3. It's lightweight, small, and it has backpack straps, which actually frees up my hands and it makes it easy to travel around with. The only issue I would say that I have with this case is that it's a 2x3, but it's literally so tight on the inside that I have to use it as a 1x3. The sticks they're literally too hard to put in, and it's even harder to pull out. So if there's any drawback about the JB case is that it's so tight. Now, I personally like to put stickers on my case because I feel like it gives it a very personal feel. And I actually attach a towel to the outside of the case. Must have number 2 is a playing stick that you feel comfortable with. Now, you'll notice I didn't say it had to be a custom cue. I didn't say that it had to be a carbon composite shaft. All I said was a stick that you feel comfortable playing with. Now, a reason why I say this is because I think you can get good with any cue as long as you give yourself time to get used to how it plays. Now, I personally use a Predator SP2 with a 12.4 Revo shaft. I got this as a gift when I graduated the University of Houston. It actually has the same colors as my university. Now, I also have a backup Revo shaft. The only difference between the backup shaft that I have and my main playing shaft is that this one has a white vault plate, which essentially kind of tries to look like a ferrule at the end. I'll be honest, I bought it because I really thought it would help me in the aiming process. But after a couple months, I didn't even notice it anymore, and it's kind of irrelevant. But I have both shafts, and I literally just draw one out when I feel like I can play with this one. I have absolutely no preference on either one, if I'm being honest. Now, while I don't consider a carbon composite shaft to be a must-have, I do consider a carbon composite shaft to have a lot of advantages over a wood shaft. So like there are things like dents and dings, warpage, and then you're always gonna have like that buttery, smooth feel of a carbon composite shaft. Like now, I really wanna get to know my viewers better, so let me know in the comments what you actually play with. So must have number 3 is a jump break cue. Now some players are gonna choose to keep these as separate items. Okay, some players are gonna choose just a jump cue by itself or just the break cue by itself. I actually prefer to combine both the jump and the break cue and just use a jump break cue. Like I said earlier, the main compartment in my case is so tight, I actually break down my jump break cue and put it in the front pouch of the JB case. Now, I personally use the Players Pure X HXT P1 jump break cue because of the versatility it has as a 4-piece jump break. It can literally be set up for any type of specialty shot that you might have. So you can set it up for tight, narrow, and precise short jumps. You can set it up for long, daunting, and daring jumps. This stick has amazing braking power with the ability to control the cue ball. And if I want, I can make it shorter for even more power. Now this is by far the most versatile stick I've ever had. I have literally used it in every combination possible in a match. In my opinion, this is the best jump break cue on the market for less than $300. It's a solid buy and you really can't go wrong with it. Item number 4 is a bow tie and moose head bridge. Don't know what a bow tie is? It looks just like this. It's really tiny, 3 sides. It has a shaped side, it has a scuff side, and then it actually opens up in the middle, and it's got a little, let's see if I can get it. Well, it's got a little porcupine so you can poke the tip, and then that'll actually help you hold chalk better. So the next item is a moose head bridge. It looks just like this. All you have to do is put it on the end of a shaft, and then you have your own bridge. What I like to do is I like to just, if I come up with a long shot that I can't reach, I just put it on the end of my break cue, and then I use my playing cue. And both of these are must-haves because I've run into situations before where I didn't store these in my case, and situations came up where I needed these. Like with the bow tie, there was a match where I couldn't stop miscuing. And because I couldn't stop miscuing, it got me frustrated and I had to ask someone to borrow theirs, and I don't like asking people to borrow stuff. So the same thing came up with the moose head bridge, where I actually went to a pool hall that didn't have bridges, or a pool hall didn't have any bridges, and they had 9-foot tables. But actually, after that day I went and got one, and since then I haven't had that issue because I have my own. Now honestly, it doesn't seem to make sense to me why a player wouldn't have this in their case to begin with. Like, they're really cheap, they're really small, they fit nicely into any case, and they're both less than $10. You can go ahead and order yourself one on Amazon. It'll be in 2 days, and you won't ever run into issues that I ran into. Must-have item number 5. Must-have item number 5 is a glove. Now, a lot of you guys are gonna disagree with me on this because a lot of you are not gonna play with the glove. And honestly, if you asked me about 6 months ago, I probably would have disagreed with myself too. So, however, since I started playing with the glove only a few months ago, I found that my game has actually become significantly more consistent. And I've never really been a guy with like sweaty hands, or like I get really nervous. When I do wear a glove, like the stick always slides smoothly. And like I said, I didn't really have an issue, but it's the consistency of smoothness that I enjoy about the glove. It's gonna sound kind of silly, but a glove really gives me that like peace of mind knowing that, hey, I can use a closed bridge if I need to use a closed bridge and it's not gonna get stuck. Or like, it just gives me a good peace of mind to have. So if you're not using a glove, like at least give it a shot if you haven't. But if you're just totally against the glove, then hey, you have your right to disagree with me. Now, I personally use a Molinari glove. I thought that the Molinari gloves just look really clean. They look really sleek. I like how they have the little holes where your fingers can go through. And they have that little gel pad at the bottom. But I'll tell you, like, that gel pad isn't actually that great. Like, it wears off after like a couple weeks, and honestly, it didn't give me the stability that I thought it would give me. Like meshing with the table. Must-have item number 6. This item is going to seem kind of silly, but it's actually just chalk. And you're probably thinking it's silly because most pool halls that I've played at have chalk available. Now you're going to want to have chalk for that one time where you go to a pool hall and there's not a pool hall, it's going to be at a bar. You're going to somehow end up at a bar playing somewhere, maybe for a tournament, or your league is set there, and there's going to be absolutely no chalk available. That time you don't have chalk, you're going to realize that I was right, that you need to keep chalk in your case. Also, another advantage of keeping chalk in your case is that you get to keep the brand that you want in there. So if you play with Kamui chalk, if you play with Predator chalk, if you play a Master chalk, you'll be able to have that same texture always on your cue. So me personally, I prefer Master chalk. I like it because it's available at every pool hall. Really cheap, and it's not a big deal if I leave it behind or I forget it somewhere. It's not the end of the world because I can always just grab another piece. I also really like the texture of it, and if I'm being honest, I like to chalk, or I try to chalk before every shot as part of my pre-shot routine. And so if I use something more expensive like Kamui, I really wouldn't get the value out of Kamui because I would use it too quickly. Master chalk allows me to like it's so cheap that I don't care if I use it up very quickly. So item number 7, and this one's gonna surprise you the most, but it's actually camera gear. So while this might surprise you, I believe that if you're serious about your game, one of the best ways to improve is by recording yourself playing. Now, you don't need anything fancy like a DSLR camera. All you really need is your phone, small tripod like this one, just a phone charger to make sure that your battery doesn't die on your phone. Now, let me tell you that watching yourself play is totally different than thinking about how you play. You're gonna be able to review those mistakes within your pattern play, your shot selection, and you're gonna be able to review mistakes within your fundamentals. So keeping a small setup like a tripod and just your phone allows you to set up quickly. That way it doesn't disrupt the flow of like your matches. Now, the best time to record yourself playing is always gonna be, it's always gonna be when you're in a tournament or in an action match. So just make sure it's okay with your opponent first, just simply out of respect. I don't think a lot of people have issues with you recording a match, but some might, and just be respectful of your opponent. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.